Hey there, you're watching Caffeine TV and I'm your host Konishko_developer. Let's just ignore for a second that I was gone for almost 6 months and get right into Coding with Kodular episode 2, where we continue making our Notes app. As I said in the previous episode, first we'll test our Notes app before we continue adding features. So I'll go into Test, Connect Companion, and then enter the code here. Do keep in mind that as of recording this video, there is an incompatibility with the Chromium engine. So to use the companion, you have to use Firefox or any other non-Chromium based browser. Anyway, as you can see, we have our Notes app here, and if you click the heading, we can say there's a heading, and for the body, let's just type what I usually start my videos with. Right off the bat, we can see that the text is going off into the side. We don't want that. We want the text to wrap around. And there's also the fact that if we close the app, the note will no longer be there. So first we'll have to make the text wrap around, and then we'll add persistence. To do this, I'll go back here, select this text box, and I'll turn on multi-line. Now if you type anything in this text box, we should see it take up multiple lines. Say A, B, C. Here you can see I can type the enter key and still continue with the typing. Now it's time to check whether wrapping the text works. To check the wrap, we'll be using the most commonly used letter in the English alphabet, which is E. And as you can see a bajillion E's later, wrapping does indeed work. Now it's time to add some persistence. For the first iteration of our persistence function, we'll be using a menu item in the title bar kebab menu. So we'll go into blocks, screen 1, menu initialize. Keep in mind that the menu of the screen is not initialized right when the screen itself is initialized. It takes a little bit more time. So if you want to add menu items, do it in the .menu initialize event, not in the .initialize event. Anyway, we will go into screen 1 blocks again, scroll down. Firefox does have some weird scroll physics. We'll drag the add menu item to here. You need to keep in mind that even though it says menu item, it actually, as you can see in the tooltip, uses a list block. So we drag it here, click the cog. Remember that in Blockly, some blocks which are marked with this cog icon allow you to add or remove sections. So for example, you can add else ifs to an if statement and one else. In the list block, you can add as many items as you want or take away everything and it will automatically say create empty list. Here we want only one item. I feel like I should mention I just removed the whole stack to show you that it would morph into the create empty list block. You just need to remove one item in this case. Anyway, a singleton list with the text, we call the menu item save. We want to do stuff when save is clicked in the menu. How will we know that save was clicked? We'll use the menu item value passed by the event handler. Do keep in mind that the value returns which have multiple words actually show up with only the last word when you're hovering over them. So here menu item will just show up as global item. It won't show menu item here, but when you drag it out, it will again say menu item. So just something to be aware of. Drag the logical equals and if there's duplicate, save. There we go. Now in this then section we can put in whatever we want to do when save is clicked. So what do we want to do? We want to store stuff in TinyDB. We want to store both the heading and the body, right? So we'll call the tag say note, because we are only storing one note right now. For the value, we'll make a list with textbox1.text, which is here, duplicate textbox2. So this will store a list with the heading and the body. Now if we test our app again, there, we can save it. I just cleared the companion from memory. I'll open the companion again. Here I'll reset connection because I didn't disconnect it gracefully. Connect again. If you were using a Chromium browser, it would actually get stuck on 20% here. So yeah, be aware of that. And as you can see, we don't have the note here. So where did we go wrong? The eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that we only stored the note, we didn't retrieve it. You must note that there are two parts to persistence: storing the data and retrieving the data. Now we'll retrieve the note that we saved. We'll go to blocks, screen1 dot initialize, because we want to get back our note as soon as we open the app. Textbox1 dot text, get in there. Yeah. We'll get value. The tag name is note. If the value is not there, we'll have to create a list with two empty texts, because we'll be using the select list item block and you can't pick the first item out of an empty list. Make sense? Okay, so just to demonstrate again, I'll click the cog and drag items, and you can see that the create empty list block now morphed into a make a list. I'll drag two empty texts here, and now we should have come this up. And now we don't want to make the heading the whole note, so select list item, we'll put it here. This is the list. The index of the heading here is 1. It is the first item. In most programming languages, the indices start with 0. However, with Blockly it starts at 1. Another thing to keep in mind. Now for the text box 2, we'll make the index 2. Now, as you can see, we are repeating a lot of blocks, and there's a concept in programming known as don't repeat yourself, or dry. We want to be dry programmers. The other type of programming is wet, where it is write everything twice, which is exactly what we have done here. So what can we do? We can take variables, initialize a local variable, say note underscore data, to this list. Now we can drag everything in here, get rid of this, yes, delete, get note data, no, why you do this, mouse, why you do this, no, alright, that's better. And there we go. We are now not repeating ourselves, and this is much neater than having multiple get values, because it does take some time to get the value from TinyDB, and why fetch the same value multiple times and add complexity to your app when you can fetch it once, and at the cost of some memory your app can be faster. we get back here, and as you can see, we don't have our note here. Why is that? Well, that's because we have to re-initialize the screen because it's fetched on screen.initialize. Or we can right click this and do it. That will fetch the note. Now if we go back into the companion, you'll see we have our note back. In its current state, our note app can save one note and retrieve it when the app is reopened. However, it would be more convenient to have some autosave, wouldn't it? We'll be doing that in the next episode, so stay tuned for that. And I promise I won't vanish for another 6 months before I make the next episode, so don't worry. If you liked the video, I guess consider clicking the thumbs up button. If you disliked the video for some reason, I'd love to hear your feedback about what I can do to be better. And maybe leave a comment, share the video, all that YouTuber stuff. I'm still learning. I hope everyone is safe and sound, doing well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy coding!